Director of Music and Education for Opera Orlando. I have been here since the beginning. This is our 7th year as a youth company. We have a training company here. It is a training and performance company, ages 8 to 18. We meet on Mondays and Saturdays. On Mondays we have classes, and classes is just that. It's a chance for the student to explore who they are as an actor, explore who they are as a musician, to be creative, and to use their voices in an uninhibited way, not being held to music, the notes on the page, and right and wrong. And then on Saturday we have the company classes. Let's do steps this week. Let's go. And walk down. Ready? Stand nice and tall and. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. All right, here we go. Nice. Let's keep working on that, all right? You guys are going to go through half notes twice through the scale. Do, re, mi. Okay? Mary knows it. Elsa, you know what we're doing? And then you guys will come in 2 beats later. So we're gonna have a little harmony going. Ready? 5, 6, 7. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. Physical characterizations, physically and as an actor, and then we're going to take, and I want you to explore them, Mary. I want you to explore them musically. Now, what do I mean by that? You can talk about, for example, if my animal is an elephant, what are some of the traits? Like Tim talked about last week about an elephant. What are some traits? Elsa?
Gray.
Okay. That I can't turn into sound.
And active
elements. Jude.
They, what is it? They blow water out their nose.
That's
Okay.
great.
What else?
They blow out of their horn.
Okay. What else?
When their ears swing back and forth, the air goes back.
Great. Okay. So those are all great traits. Anybody know the famous composer that created a whole set of pieces inspired by animals?
Is he French?
He is French. That is correct.
I keep thinking of this.
Sheila.
Have you heard of the Chopin?
No, but what a great guess. You get a high five now.
Great composer.
Great. Jude. No, it wasn't Bach either. He has kind of 2 names. His name is Sanson. Sanson. And they're both nasal, kind of like that. And he wrote something called Carnival of the Animals.
I know that.
It's an orchestra.
I remember that.
See, I knew you guys knew it.
I know that. I knew it.
So, homework assignment is to Google it, YouTube it, listen to some of the animals and inspiration. You play some of them.
Who wants to sing? Somebody wanted to sing. I know you sang last time. Sophie, Francesca, you want to sing? Something simple. Simple motif. Brilliant. Thank you. That's it. Very nice. And something I liked about that, I liked a lot about that, but the main thing I liked about that is piggybacking on your selection, your vocal selection last week. What I liked about that was you were using a part of your vocal range that I don't hear a lot from you. As soon as you let go, as soon as you drop the being self-conscious, right? We all get that self-conscious. That's part of the reason why we're here, because we're learning about not just music, but we're learning how to perform. And it's one thing to be very musical in your shower. It's one thing to have a fantastic voice while you're in the shower, or you're mowing your lawn, you've got your headphones on, you're like, ah! That's great. We can do that all day long. But if you want to perform that in front of people, then you have to overcome certain things, and we've talked about that. What are some of the things you have to overcome? Anybody?
Yourself.
First and foremost, yourself. That little voice that says, this is awful. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Oh, you're flat. Oh, your voice is terrible. Oh, you'll never be a singer. Oh, people hate you. Oh, you're ugly. That voice. That voice has to go. What else? Anybody else? Anybody else?
Comparing yourself?
Comparing yourself to other people, absolutely. You are not Celine Dion. You are not Beyonce. You are not that. You are you. You have your own unique tone and quality and features. Own that. You don't have to be like them. That's good. What else? What's holding you back? What's that?
You have to commit completely.
Yeah, you got to commit. You got to commit. If you let all of that negativity in, if you start losing your focus and thinking of other things, absolutely, you're gonna lose yourself in all of those negative thoughts, or you're gonna lose yourself in trying to please the audience, trying to please the teacher, trying to please. Forget all of that. It's about, right? So get rid of all that. And I heard that once you got rid of that, your tone just kind of dropped and got real full, right?
Because we intuitively know, somehow unconsciously, intuitively, we know what to do. We know how to produce relaxed, beautiful music. It's just that all these other things barrage us and we shut down. We can't, we can't think. It's, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And that's going to go.
It shuts you're right, Amado, it shuts your brain down, and it shuts your instrument down. Your muscles freeze up. If you can't relax, if you can't open up this passageway, then you'll never be able to manipulate it in the way you want to do it. So, Shayla, there were some great moments in there, and that was when you just let go and heard the music and didn't worry about where it was going or what we thought. It was just what you were hearing and feeling. Did you feel any of that? Did you feel it when it was working?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Ride those moments. Ride those moments. Because here's good news for you. When you're feeling that, when it feels good, trust me, it sounds good. It sounds good. Who's next? what was the word? What was the name word everybody was using?
Sassy.
Yeah, we're sassy, but no. At the very top, we said it wasn't tired. It was drained. It was very interesting. The blues when you drain. When you drain and you have nowhere else to go, sing the blues, right?
It gives you.
And it gives you the energy. It picks you up. That was some of the best work I've heard you do, especially improvisationally. That was really, really nice. And something interesting too that I heard you do that I haven't heard in a long time was being very confident enough that you had that break. You were singing at the break, and you do that. You know, it was just like woo, effortless. It was just
Sign
great.
out, baby.
It was great. Good stuff.
Sign out.
Anybody else? Who's next? Somebody want to try? Yeah, come on. Actually, peacock. That's right.
Very
Proud. That's a good one, Rebecca.
Yeah, like definitely arrogant.
Arrogant, proud, boisterous.
Majestic.
Flutters his feathers a lot.
Yeah, they actually sound like rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
Scares my mom all the
And
time.
they're
They sound like their feathers sound like rattlesnakes, and their call sounds like a cat.
Well, it can actually vary. Sometimes when they're scared, it can
Yeah.
sometimes sound like a child yelling for help.
Oh yeah.
It's terrifying. My mom's like all the time.
Do you have peacocks?
Yeah.
Ah.
So I kind of know what they sound like. They're also very stupid. Maybe. Something like that, like.
Good. Nice. How'd that feel? Feels good, doesn't it? Why does it feel good? Why do you like it?
Because it's passionate and beautiful.
Anybody else? Yeah, Antonio.
I loved how it was like original, like not like our normal tones, and it had our own flair to it. Like everyone had a different part to play, so that was
Yeah.
interesting.
Like that observation. It's great.
I just like improv because it's always different and like
I think that just because something is scripted or written down for you, that has to make it boring, or that closes you off as a performer. Because yeah, you have to work within a box, a framework, but you can still bring your emotional life to it. You can bring your unique voice to it.
you need to make this all
Always.
yours.
Absolutely. Always. With your experience, your life, your emotions, your character. I'd like to do a little bit of scene work, but we're going to think of it more as character work than scene work. Circumstances, right? Everybody know what the given circumstances are?
No.
Given circumstances are who, what, where, when, right? Who are you? Who are you talking with? Who is the scene with? Where are you? What is the setting? When is this? What year? What date? What season? one time in history, whatever. These are found in your script. They are written down by the playwright. The given circumstances are also given to you by the director when he or she is directing you in the play. The given circumstances are the things that we can extrapolate from the script that help us know exactly who we are, where we are, what is going on, when we are. Okay? The who, what, where, when. Forgetful, which is a given circumstance. That's something maybe the playwright would have put in. That's something maybe your job as an actor deduced from reading the entire play. My character is forgetful. My character is ditzy. You see what I'm saying? That's a given circumstance that you've extrapolated from this play that we're making up, and you're adding on to the character. However, I asked in the exercise just to do action.
It almost like it didn't seem like I was purposefully doing anything. I was just like, oh, let me go get that, and let me go get that. Like, that's kind of what was in my mind now. Like, oh my gosh, I forgot, you know, but
Sure.
I can see how it comes off as like, oh, she's adding something else.
Right.
Like, it didn't come, it wasn't like, oh, I have to be forgetful. Like, it didn't seem, it wasn't a conscious character choice that I made.
It wasn't
And
conscious. It wasn't conscious, or
like,
it was not
subconscious.
conscious.
It was just like
It was
something like,
subconscious.
oh, let me go get my bowl. Because, like, that's how I usually make cereal. I'm like, okay, well, I have my stuff here. Let me go get there, you know? And
I love that you said that it was a subconscious choice, that you were doing it without even realizing you were doing it.
Yeah.
We call those actor tics. Have you heard that before?
yes, it's like when people, usually it's like when people fidget with stuff, you know, it's like habits, not choices. And it's very hard to tell whether it's part of the character or whether you're doing it because it's you.
Yes! Whoa! That's exactly right. That's exactly what it is. So, I want one more time.
Okay.
It's a challenge.
Right.
It's hard. When we do this, when we strip away any preconceived notions or given circumstances, when we strip it away and do just action, we're bringing it back to basics. Just as quickly as possible, make cereal. Sit down. Good. I saw some great things happen. I want to see if anybody else saw. What was different about that performance? What was different?
A lot less like emotion or character behind it.
Okay. Did that help or hinder what you saw?
For me, it hindered.
It
because
hindered.
I didn't relate to it anymore.
Oh, I love that. You didn't relate to it. Didn't have any life.
Yeah.
Cool.
It didn't really have any intention for me personally, so it was
Love
kind
it.
of, like, I don't know.
The only intention
Was to do, yeah.
make cereal.
Yeah.
Right.
It seemed to help from my perspective, because when she wasn't focused on making character choices, she was focusing more on spatial awareness, and everything seemed to be in its correct place.
Love that. The specificity got, to use your thing with the Cyclops, your specificity got very focused and narrowed.
I felt that.
You felt that?
Yeah, like I felt when I would screw on the milk cap or open the cereal box, or, you know, because also since I did pretty much the same track, just less jittery,
Yeah.
you know, it also helped, like, oh, okay, I already went here, I already did this, so like when I traced it over again, I think that also helped, also with not the additional distraction of becoming a character.
I love that.
So I think it was like a mixture of both, too, for me personally.
And I would agree, as an observer, I feel like watching you do it was a little devoid of intention. It was devoid of any life. But it is an exercise. You weren't here to entertain us.
Yeah.
Now, isn't that interesting? As soon as we feel as actors that we have to entertain, what do?
You
Create a
Antonio.
persona.
You create a persona. Anybody else? Yeah.
Act like not naturally.
There you go.
Naturally.
I love that. Now I know we're acting, and it sounds like it sounds like a paradox or an oxymoron. We are acting, but we're always told by acting teachers, or we're always told we're acting, but don't look like you're acting. Don't act. But it's true, because if you're acting, you're putting things on that don't need to be there. And so when I had you strip that away, you have to fight. You have to fight to get rid of your acting habits. You have to fight the urge to entertain everybody instead of just doing. Instead of just doing the action. Now, let's use a given circumstance. Hop up. Let's give it some, we'll start again. Let's give it some stakes. We'll give it some stakes by saying that you've got a date.
Okay.
Okay? You have to eat before you get ready.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Now, here's some other given circumstances.
Still cereal.
Sure, you're making cereal. When is this? It's in the spring and it's raining.
Okay.
You just come in from the rain.
Okay.
You fell in a puddle.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm layering a lot on this, right?
Right.
But these are the given circumstances. Let's try it again.
Cereal.
Good, good. The given circumstances change everything. That's a given. It's a given. But it's also what makes acting difficult. Because it's about layering. The very basics of acting, we've talked about this a million times for those of you who have had me as a teacher before. I go down to the very basics, which is what? Acting is, first and foremost.
React.
Yes, absolutely, reacting. Listening is the most important thing when you're with a scene partner. It's also reacting to your environment. But before you're reacting, if it's just you doing a monologue or singing a solo, what is acting? Hannah, you've been doing this for 4 years with me. Come on.
Acting is doing.
She got it. Acting is doing. It's doing. Acting is action. Okay? And you boil it down to the basics. And Peter Brook, I don't know if you're familiar with Peter Brook. I won't go into it. But Peter Brook, who's a theater genius, said, you can ask anybody to walk across a stage and put on sunglasses. It's walk across the stage and put on sunglasses. That's all you have to do, right? That's all you have to do. Anybody can do that. That's the action, to do that. But we ask actors to add all of these given circumstances. You've just been in a car accident. You're running across the street to borrow someone's phone, or you're walking very quickly across the street to borrow someone's phone. You're a little traumatized. You're a klutz. You go to put your glasses on and you drop them. Now do it. Well, you will quickly weed out good actors from bad actors. Does that make sense? And that all that is that when you're asking someone to do that much, you have to start layering all of this stuff. And you will find that that gets increasingly harder. That you'll find that a lot of people will become self-conscious about. They'll have too many things going on in their head, and the dropping of the glasses will seem fake. And does that make sense? It becomes a lot harder once you start stacking all of those given circumstances on. It becomes a lot harder to make it naturalistic. But if you can start from the basics. Acting is just doing. Each beat, just doing one action and layering on top of that. Through practice, you'll start hitting it. Your work was great. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Question?
Is it okay if I comment something?
Yeah, please.
I thought it was really cool, like seeing how kind of experience went into this too. Like I liked her take on it because when you said the given circumstances, I was thinking in my head just imagining something. And for me, I don't know if it's just me, but I was oh, I have to eat before getting ready to go on a date, and I hate dates, so I would take my time trying to eat cereal so I don't have to get ready, and then I could miss the date. So when she was rushing, I was what is happening? And then I was oh, obviously she wants to go on a date, not dreads it. So I was oh, that's really cool. So I really like that. Yeah.
She likes the guy.
Yeah.
We're going to, the reason why I bring this up is because throughout this semester, we'll be doing a lot of work like this, but we'll break it down from the basics and we're going to layer. I want everybody to feel comfortable with doing the basics before we start layering. I don't want to have anybody get up, and I'm not going to have you get up and do, Lady Macbeth from Shakespeare. You don't have to get up here. I'm not going to make anybody do that. We're just going to concentrate on, doing and listening to each other. And the next time we get together, we'll go one step further. We'll take these given circumstances and we'll start doing improv exercises where it's just two people who come into a room and establish who they are. Two people who walk into a room and establish who they are and where they are. And two people who walk into a room, establish who they are, where they are, and what the situation is. What just happened to each of them before they walked into the room, what is happening now. And we layer. And before you know it, you're doing a fully improvised scene. Does that make sense? So we'll just go one step at a time. Cool. Thank you. That was awesome. Really good work. Right over there. Let's check out. Francesca, how you feel? One word. How you feel?
I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling inspired.
I'm feeling exasperated because the coffee energy is left.
I'm feeling exuberant.
Nice.
I'm feeling rejuvenated.
Good.
I'm feeling happy.
I'm feeling re-energized.
I'm feeling hyped.
Feeling pumped.
Happy. I'm actually energetic. I don't know. I'm less tired than I was.
Good.
I don't know.
Good.
I'm still excited to sleep. I don't know, I'm still tired. Anxious.
Okay.
Calm.
Nice.
Content.
Good. Again, nice work, everybody. Really good work. The work you did at the piano was just exceptional. And I love someone pointing out that I think the reason why it was exceptional was it was not just everyone singing to hear their voices. It was everyone singing with an intention, with a specific character trait that colored what it was you were doing, and then listening to each other and blending really nicely. It was awesome, and we're going to do more of it. All right?
practice your
Saturday.
parts.